Hey, yeah, it's me, Uncle Ricky. And of course, with everything that's going on, there's probably a 99.9% chance that I'm going to have to talk about Donald Trump. And yeah, it's right. Play the odds, because that's what we're talking about. Trump. And today's topic is how far can this asshole, how many threats, open threats, can this asshole make against individuals in the United States government, in the Department of Justice, in the FBI, anybody that he chooses or thinks that is his opponent? This, ever since he's probably done it all of his adult life, but especially since he's been president, he tends to use his position to weaponize everything he can that his position puts in his domain or purview. I shouldn't say domain, because that would just trip his, that would just satisfy his little ego, because he wants to be a monarch. He wants to be a potentate, like Emperor of the United States. He wants to be beyond dictator. He wants to sit in the Oval Office and just say shit and have it done. Like, he'll be sitting there one morning eating his Big Mac, chasing it down with a, Colonel Sanders order of mashed potatoes and gravy. And, look at a general and say, you know what? I'm tired of Canada's bullshit. Bomb the fuck out of him. Or look at the Secretary of Treasury and say, you know what? We stopped them for putting that black, broad on the $20 bill. But, I think we need to really do change the $20 bill. So, why don't you put a picture of Ivanka on it? This is the kind of shit that Trump wanted to do. In his mind, this is what this is what being the president of the United States allows him to do. And you can kind of see it because he has no respect for the laws, the rules, the regulations, the accepted guidelines, the precedent. Trump is a ceiling shatterer. He wants to be the first to do a lot of shit, but unfortunately the things that he wants to be the first to do are not good for anybody else but Trump. He's the first president to be impeached twice. He's a one-term president. He didn't even win then. He got in because of the antiquated Electoral College. And when he lost the second time in the general election, the popular election, and the Electoral College, he tried to fake out the Electoral College with fake representatives from swing states that were going to nullify the vote for Biden. Biden had actually won the state, but these people were going to come in with fake letters from the Secretary of State in their states, all Republicans, and they were going to say that Trump was the winner of that state, caused a constitutional crisis. That kind of indicates that maybe we need to modify or eradicate the Electoral College thing. But something's got to work, because as long as it's there, some idiot will figure out how to perfect Trump's plan. It's not that Trump... What's really crazy is not only should we punish Trump for what he did, but we should also study what he did. Because the only reason a lot of the things that Trump tried to do, the corruption, the greed, the whatever, is because Trump is such a narcissist, such a micromanager. He had to have his... It wasn't just enough to say, okay, go do this. He had to have his finger up everybody's butt and try to direct things step by step, minute by minute. And Trump does not have that kind of intellect. He's not that intelligent. He's evil, he's corrupt, he's devious, and he's a hell of a con man. But for long-term major operations, Trump is totally lacking. If it's one objective, and Trump can see the gain in it for himself, that's what he will do. That's why he chose the path to the White House that he did the first time. Because he knew that any voter with, let's say, any amount of integrity wasn't likely going to vote for him. Any voter with any amount of, compassion for other people that may not look like them, he wasn't going to appeal to them. Any voter that really, they might have had their own religious beliefs, but they believe that everybody should be able to practice their religion as long as they didn't interfere or try to, physically or mentally harm somebody of another religion. They weren't going to vote for him, because these are the things that Trump brandished, used as sledgehammers, weapons when he came down that escalator, talking about Mexicans, talking about minorities, talking about welfare, talking about public education. Every time anything that came out of Trump's mouth was to get a select group of people with money, people with power, and a base that was ignorant enough, I said it, ignorant enough to fall for anything that came out of his mouth. And to a certain degree, he was successful. He's still successful, but on a lesser degree. Money-wise, he's losing all of his big donors because they know that as, business owners, leaders of industry, you cannot just come out and be openly racist and expect to stay in business, because people will just stop coming to your door. Except for the people that are like you, and that'll keep you going, because a lot of the people that are like you are the other, are the big players in business, politics, whatever. But it's a finite group. And it's more finite than the people that aren't like you. Now, with this trial thing and Trump feeling like, you can see that he's desperate or he's crazy. And I'm not going to say crazy to the point that, he could claim an insanity defense. But crazy to the point that his desperation is making him do illogical things. But Trump has done illogical things for years and survived. Some cases even profited. But everything that he did, it might have turned out good for him, but other people lost their businesses, lost their reputations. Everything Trump touches dies. The United States, by putting Trump under indictment, bringing him into court, and charging him with his crimes, it's not an act of desperation, it's an act of survival. Because if you let Trump walk away from this, it's only going to put him one step closer to being back in the White House. And once he gets back in that White House, anybody that he thought was his enemy, they're done. Any organization, any institution that said one negative thing about Trump, they're done. Any opposing politician in the Republican Party, they're done. any Democrat that he thinks is his political enemy, he's going to do his best to end them. And I'm going to say it just like that, end them. He's going to tear down any agency, reorganize any agency, implant his own people from top to bottom so that they cannot come back after. They can go after everybody else. He can weaponize them and use them against everybody else, but they will never come after the master, the hand that feeds them. This court thing with Trump, all these cases that are going to come out, all these indictments that are going to come out, is the country's last chance to rid itself of a cancer called Trump. Now, he's going into court for arraignment on the federal charges on Tuesday, just like he went to court on state charges in New York. The difference is, this is Florida, this is the South, this is where the majority of his, not just the state, but in the South, this is where the majority of his MAGA base is. South and Midwest. He's depending and he's inciting violence. He's depending on the Red Hat Brigade to come out, burn up some shit, burn down some shit, and maybe scare America into giving him leniency or just all of a sudden dropping the charges. He still believes that he has enough pull, he has enough, I don't know, balls enough to basically overthrow this country. And this is the showdown. Democracy against fascism, evil against good. The nation, the United States versus Donald John Trump. And all I can say is, it'd be a damn shame if we wasted this opportunity to put that motherfucker exactly where he belongs. Just like anybody else would be for all the shit. If they had done the same shit that Trump did, they'd be right where he needs to go, and that's the fucking jail. Well, that's it. That's all I had to say. Peace out and God bless from Uncle Ricky at Uncle Ricky's house.